and since we're going live, no one's gonna be watching right now, so we can we'll still just bullshit like normal for a hot second. All right, there you go, Michael. Live stream is put out there, Mike, into the universe. It says right on top, it's streaming to YouTube. We should be good.
I'm coming in at 6 minutes, resuming in.
Oh, you're the fastest, Wook.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure, but I don't want to like. So you definitely want me to announce it as it comes if nobody else says it?
Yeah, Wookie, I think you're ahead of all of us. So you could say if you see the pick is in and a pick gets made, you can be like, all right, guys, no matter what we're talking about, just fucking interrupt us and be like, all right, we got the pick, bro, and just let us know.
Yep.
Because that's helpful. Because then if we're not, anyone who might be say someone is watching this shit and they see someone got picked and I'm 30 seconds later, I'm like, all right, Brees Hall. They're like, yo, what the fuck, bro? You're fucking behind on shit.
Yep.
You need to be on top of it. Oh, look at Sammy. Look at the background. And Sammy's tripping out right there. I like it.
I'm going to go in the other room not to disturb wifey.
Not a big deal.
So I just wanted to...
We'll leave.
Oh, look, he had to put it on mute, guys. Saw that? That's a mute conversation from wifey, dude. He didn't want us to hear that one.
Sammy looks like an 1800s photo came to like color, like living life right now. I love it.
Okay,
should I turn the blur off? Does the blur
it looks like the picture of Dorian Gray right now. That's what Sammy looks like. She looked like. Sammy and Mike always have like these classy ass backgrounds on them. Sammy has like a picture of Earth, like the planet, a map of the planet, which always looks good, you know. Mike's shit's always looking hot and fire back there.
It's a pin map. Allison got me to pin where I've been.
All right, guys. So I guess we could start. This is like different for us because a live stream is just a live stream. So Mike's out there sending links out and doing his thing right now. So we don't know who's watching or not. This isn't recorded for time. So we'll just start from the top like we normally do. The draft starts in 5 minutes. So I'm just going to rip into this right now and we'll get rocking. All right, guys?
Yep.
All right, dude. So as we know, New York Jets last night. I'm going to throw to probably Sammy first because Mike's going to be doing something. So I want to hear what you got to say about this, Sammy. Now, on this show, you and me and Michael all mock draft sauce to go to the New York Jets. I mean, that's pretty well done by us, considering how difficult mock drafts are. And I have some stats. I have some data I wrote down today. I sat down, crunched the numbers on our mock draft, Kuiper's mock draft, McShay's mock draft, okay? We're going to do that in a minute, guys, when we have a little bit of spare time here. But let's get into these Jet picks, man. The way it played out, Javon Walker went number 1. By the time draft day came, I think most people thought that was happening. That was the main rumor floating around everywhere. If I had to put out a mock draft yesterday, I would have said Javon Walker 1, Hutchinson 2. Then at 3, I'd be like, all right, let me figure this out. Maybe Evan Neal at 3, and then Sauce at 4 for the Jets. But the way it played out, Sauce falls to the Jets at 4. Maybe on most people's boards, the 4th or 5th best prospect in the draft. Right behind him on those lists is Garrett Wilson, who I know Mike wasn't the biggest fan of. Me and Sammy like him, though I know the Wookiee's a fan of him as well. Maybe the most NFL-ready receiver in this draft class. Okay? He falls to the Jets. And then, guys, Jermaine Johnson. I mean, this is the guy ranked 9th or 10th or 11th best prospect on most boards. The Jets liked him more than Kayvon Thibodeau. He's a New York Jet now. I mean, this could not have worked out better. Sammy, the Jets have added 5 first-round picks the last 2 years. They're filling holes left and right. We'll go through each pick individually. Let's start at the top here, though, with our boy Sauce. I know you wanted him on the team. You know the type of difference he can make. Were you surprised he was there for, or did you kind of just anticipate, look, with all the craziness that happened the day of the draft, it was still going to work out like you thought, and Sauce would be there?
So I'm glad he was there. And I was actually more surprised that Houston decided to go with Stingley over Sauce, which I was, when they drafted him, he looked at me because I'm screaming like, hell yeah, we got Sauce. Because this guy is going to, with the addition of the new safeties, DJ Reed, like we've gotten such a upgrade at that position.
Yeah.
That I think is going to trickle down, especially, I mean, listen, we killed yesterday. Guys, for everybody listening, we crushed yesterday. We made yesterday our bitch. We did so well in that draft. For some people, we had the number 1 corner, the number 1 wide receiver prospect, and then the top 3 pass rusher in the draft, all in the first round. I mean, but Sauce, what an addition.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it when we did our mock, how much we liked him, all the things he brings to the table as a corner, never gave up a touchdown in college. I mean, you just don't hear about that. It's not like he played in some jabroni school. He's playing in Cincinnati. They went to the national championship game, That's pretty impressive. The wingspan, the size, the 40 time, all the athletic intangibles, the instinctual moves he has on the field. I mean, he only gave up 8 receptions this whole year versus him. That's unbelievable. Now we'll get more and dig more into sauce. We'll dig more into these Jet picks. Wookie, let's throw to you here. You guys ended up getting Kayvon Thibodeau. You ended up filling a spot on the offensive line. Are you happy with how the Giants draft worked out?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have been more happier. It looks like we definitely have a better direction right off the bat with these guys in there. I mean, I'm biased because I hate Gettleman and his effing water bottle and his Boston accent, but don't get me started on him. No, I think it's great. Thibodeau, we discussed it a few weeks ago. I don't think either the Jets or the Giants would have been unhappy landing him or picking him. And then to get Neal at 7 when all you heard leading into this was they were in love with this with Cross. I'm glad they went with Neal. So I'm happy where we're at right now and just excited to see what they're going to do at 36.
Yeah, man, when we're looking at the mock drafts that we threw out there, a lot of stuff went the way that we anticipated, but Stingley going number 3, I was like, what is happening right now? You know?
Yeah.
I know Stingley is a good corner, and maybe some people think him and Sauce are a toss-up at that position, but I don't think the value is there for the Texans to take him at that spot. It didn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't know what they were doing there. That's why Sammy was laughing, and his beautiful new bride pie was like, what the hell are you doing? When it comes to this mock draft, though, things mostly fell how we thought, not with Johnson. I thought Garrett Wilson would go 8th before the Jets picked. Instead, when we get to 10, he's still on the board. Now, I know a lot of people like Jameson Williams over Garrett Wilson. And it's hard to argue that. You know, the stuff you saw Jameson Williams do, the ceiling you've seen him had. What I would argue is he didn't really do too much at Ohio State. He had some plays there, right? It's a little bit of tape from there. Goes to Alabama, blows up like we know, and then hurt his knee. So as much as people do like him, I know Mike loves him, I know our boy Kevin Jackson loves him, I love him too. But the thing is, there is some uncertainty there. You know, you don't know 100%. Like I've told people, ACLs nowadays are not really a big deal, but there's no 100% coming back from that, and he just has the 1 year of production really in Alabama. And you look at Garrett Wilson, someone who's pretty consistent. Maybe the high end, maybe the ceiling's not as high. I know that's what Mike said when he was talking about Garrett Wilson, but with the route running, the hands he has, the quickness on the field, guys, the agility, everything he did in college, he's already NFL ready right now. Jameson Williams coming back from injury, you don't know. I mean, as much as everyone likes him, you can't argue that. You can't argue that you don't know what he's going to do. I think Garrett Wilson, you're pretty sure is going to go on the field and be a good quality receiver for you right away. Okay, and then you take him and you add him to the tool belt here for our boy Zach Wilson. We got the 2 tight ends. I keep saying it. I love them both. They're both going to be weapons for us. We have Elijah Moore. Ran a 4.35 40 last year. Garrett Wilson ran a 4.38 40, guys. You know what I'm saying? We got some speed out there. So Corey Davis, a guy like him, who isn't necessarily as fast, a different type of receiver, but you need guys like that. You need as many unique receivers as you can get. So at 10, Sammy, I know you wanted the Jets to grab a receiver. I think when we did the mock, you wanted them to take Drake London. Am I correct?
Yeah.
You had the position, you did have the position correct, not the same receiver because he was already gone. So were you happy at that point since London's gone, he's off the board? I know you like Jameson Williams also. Were you happy, though, with the Garrett Wilson pick?
I was. I think, and I was actually, so I went into school today. I was talking to my students about this because I got a bunch of seniors, and I was like, the Jets crushed it. And the more tape I watch on Garrett Wilson, the more I like his ability to create space, which I don't think Drake London has really well. So at any level of football, as a wide receiver, you have to be able to get open. And it just gets harder as you get into like the upper echelons of where you can ultimately be in the NFL. So for a guy like Garrett Wilson, I know they say he's a little undersized, but the speed and the ability just to get open is something that is at a premium. And I think that's something he can add to that team almost immediately, like you said, day one starter, because of that ability alone. I think he's going to be in that rotation pretty heavily with Moore and Davis.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we're not sure, like we don't know the role Barrios is going to play at the end of the year. Remember, they started using him a little bit in the passing game, started using him with some of those ending arounds and funky plays, those gadget plays. And he was pretty effective in the offense. And the year before when they targeted him, he was pretty decent too. But he wasn't someone they looked to very often. So that's another player we have in the offense. We have Michael Carter. Hopefully, we'll see what happens with this pick 38. I mean, that's what we should get to real quick, guys, because it's going to be coming up pretty soon. We'll get to Jermaine Johnson in a second. But before that, I just want to throw at Sammy real quick while we have some time here. When it comes to 38 now, we don't have the 35th pick anymore. We just have this one pick in the 3rd round. Then we don't pick again until the 101st pick. It's a big gap there pick, so this pick is really important here. Has your mind changed in the direction you want them to go? I mean, there is some options here. I don't know if they would double dip at receiver. It might sound ridiculous, but Christian Watson's on the board. He might still be on the board at 38. The running backs, I don't know if they'll both be there at 38, but they could be. And you have Nakobe Dean, probably the best linebacker in the country, rated as the 19th best prospect in this entire draft, still on the board right now. Still on the board right now, which is crazy. Someone I'd love the Jets to grab. What direction do you think they should go in, Sam?
So I love Dean. I think he's a little bit like he doesn't have the length that you want to see out of a linebacker, sure. But I think you can't go wrong taking Dean if he's there, because I think the Giants could go in a couple different directions, and I could see them scooping up Dean at 4. But if Dean's still there, I think it's a no-brainer for the Jets. However, if Dean is gone, I think you have to take Breece Hall and continue to surround Zach, because you've added defensive pieces already through free agency and the draft, and you've shored up that corner. I don't think you need to add more guys. I think if you want to keep building around Zach, like you mentioned, we got the 2 tight ends already. Get a running back to pair with Michael Carter's quickness, like a monster like him. And I think you're really set up next year to do some damage and have these young kids all grow and learn in the same kind of scheme together.
Yeah, I'm down with that. I mean, me and Mike talked last episode about how much we think getting a dynamic running back here could just alter the entire way teams have to deal with your offense. Not saying Michael Carter's not good, guys. We like him. Don't get me wrong. He's a good running back. He played good towards the end of last year. But he's not a running back teams are scheming for because they're worried about Michael Carter and what he's going to do to them. You know, where if you get a guy like a Breece Hall, even if you get a guy like Kenneth Walker, I mean, look at the feet of 4.38 40 time. That guy's like a bowling ball, Kenneth Walker. I like him too. Both those guys I would be happy with. I think with Dean, Sammy, I know what you mean with the length, and that does matter. I do. If you look at the NFL right now, it seems like to me, like I can't discount what Sammy says because most linebackers are 6'3", 6'2", 6'3", 6'4". They have the long arms and everything like that. But last year, the Jaguars signed Olakun. He had 197 tackles in the league. He's only barely 6'2". And Bobby Wagner's 6 feet tall. You know, the guy who'd they draft, the Seahawks. He took him 20th. That's why Bobby Wagner's not there. The guy, I think it's Jordan Brooks. They took the Seahawks. He's 6 feet tall. You know, he had 190 tackles last year. So Zach Thomas, one of the best linebackers of all time, was 5'11". He's the exact same size as Nakobe Dean. So I know what you mean, Sammy, but I think some guys, like when you watched him play this dude, he was one of those dudes that played every play like it was the last play of his whole life. Like, and those guys, 2 or 3 inches in the length does matter, but when you play like whistle to whistle like a dude like that, I mean, that would be him or Breece Hall I'd be happy with. When we had the 2 picks in the 3rd round, when the 2nd round, my mock looked one way. Now they only have the 1 pick. I don't know what's going to shake out here, man. I think Nakobe Dean is an option. I like him a lot. Like I said, I think he'd be someone that kind of be a game changer for the defense. But as we spoke about last episode, man, to have that great running back, that changes everything too, helps everything out on the offense. Don't forget about the guy Bernard Raymond, the giant Austrian beast. The beast, tight end turned tackle from Austria, just pumping iron to Arnold Schwarzenegger videos, getting big, bro. Getting big in the offseason, this cat. He's a converted tight end. He's someone they might look at too. He's a prospect people think if he had played 4 years.
And what's going on at
tackle,
the draft? What's going on with the draft right now?
Chris
Yeah,
Angel.
Mike, I don't.
Chris
You
Angel
guys
is-
are 30 seconds ahead of me. I see a guy spinning around, breaking out.
Yeah,
of,
what-
a straight
what-
Bro,
jacket.
he's
What is
trying to get
this?
out of the straight jacket.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin it for you guys, but I don't think I will. He got
Mike,
out of
are
the
you
straight jacket.
officially back with us? You good?
I'm good.
Oh, you
I am
good? All
back.
right,
I
Mike,
got
let's-
Goodell on the stage right now, and I got the closed caption on, so I don't think he's making a pick yet, but he's on the stage doing his thing right now.
Oh, I got some dudes spinning around like a
Yeah, this is
top.
ridiculous.
Is
I
it
don't know what's
everybody's booing him again? I would assume because that's my favorite part of the draft. Is that
I
everyone?
have it on mute, and I just got the closed caption. I don't want to get.
I
the
feel
TV
like
and the
you don't
recording.
get as much as that mean-spiritedness because it's Las Vegas. There's a lot of tourists there. Like when you're in New York, you know what you're getting, right? You're getting some disgruntled. You're getting waves, just a whole sea of disgruntled Jet fans, whatever. the
Oh,
case may be,
absolutely.
you know. But in Vegas, I don't know. It just seems like just like the Raider games last year, they lacked a certain vibe when you watched that Oakland had. Even when they played in LA, had more than vibe than Vegas because 30-40% of the crowd is just there. Oh, we're gonna go fly out for a game. That'd be fun to do, you know.
Yeah.
And also, you know what the Raiders get hit with, guys? Since it's Vegas, a lot of people make a vacation and go seeing their team play the Raiders. Like all of us, one day, we're going to go to Vegas to watch them play the Raiders, to watch the Jets play. It's going to happen one day, right? Like I already went, so I'm like, I went a whole bunch of places this year to watch the Jets play. I mean, Las Vegas is better than all of them that I went. I went to no disrespect, Charlotte.
Bucks are on the
You guys
clock.
are both nice, but Vegas is a whole different story here. But Mike, let's get your opinion. We haven't heard. We're going live here. We haven't been able to talk to you yet about the draft. We spoke a little bit about Sauce at 4. We spoke a little bit about Garrett Wilson at 10, and we'll backtrack on those. Let's get to Jermaine Johnson. So we haven't spoken about him yet, Mike. When he didn't get drafted in the top 10 there, I kept thinking each of these teams that needed a defensive player, like you said, Mike, when the Bills traded up, you were like, oh, they're definitely taking him. Yeah. That happened to me 3 or 4 times because there was 10 trades in the first round. And I kept thinking to myself, man, one of these trades has to be to get this guy because this is a monster prospect. Instead, he gets all the way to 26. The Jets trade for him. You saw the Joe Douglas video, how hyped he was, Michael. What do you think about, before we get to the first 2 picks, Mike, what do you think about that pick, Joe Douglas's move, and getting Johnson at 26?
I think that Joe Douglas, his greatest trait when it comes to the draft is understanding value on the board. I think that, there are guys like Jermaine Johnson that he probably had valued very high, but he understood where his value was and knew that he could wait potentially to pick him up. And that's a skill set that not many people, not many general managers have. I thought that what we ended up with was something. What's crazy is like I've been waiting for that. Oh, we're going to get Tyreek Hill. Oh, we're going to get Deebo Johnson. Oh, we're going to get this big player, and just being disappointed. And then last night just blew me away because we had a situation and then the correct action to then be able to procure 3 of our top 8, best players. And so when you look at what's happened to the New York Jets, they've got the best cornerback in the draft, I believe, and most believe. He's an eraser on one side of the field. When you put him man, essentially you can then just let loose that defensive line and not really have to worry about that side of the field, which is something Darrelle Revis used to do back in the day. So it really helps just Robert Saleh and that defensive scheme set to essentially just use a weapon like Sauce to be able to, leverage the rest of your assets on the defensive line. So I was really excited about that. And I'm not someone who likes to brag. I don't think that's a good thing, but today I just heard so many different Jet podcast shows saying, man, we didn't see us taking a corner at 4. And Connor Hughes said, hey, I'm sorry, I got it wrong. I was hearing things and I just didn't see it. And no one had anyone mocked. Nobody had Sauce mocked until Rich Cimini, started breaking that they were hot. Well, Connor and, everybody else, A.E.B.G had Sauce Gardner going to the New York Jets at 4. And I just want to let all our listeners know, if you want to know what's going on with the New York Jets when it comes draft time, you just tune in here because you can go back last year. It's there. A.E.B.G had AVT and Zach Wilson. This year, A.E.B.G had Sauce Gardner and Keith had Jermaine Johnson. I mean, we're 4 for 4.
I don't even want to say it, but the previous year too, we had Becton and Mims. I mean, let's not. I don't want to pile on. I don't want to pile on. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, we've been getting this right, dude. We've been doing good with these mocks. I mean, let's be real, Mike. Even last year.
I mean, it's there. It's in the history. Michael, it's in the history.
Said the Jets. I know Mims hasn't turned out great. I'm not saying.
I know.
I'm just saying you predicted it, and then it happened. And then last year, I'm like, look at Elijah Moore, top of the second round. That could be. It happened. We've been doing pretty good with these mocks. And on the next show, I'm gonna dig a little bit more into the numbers about our mocks and Mel Kiper's mocks and McShay and compare and contrast, Michael. We did pretty good. I think I have all of it in front of me, Mike. Now it's a lot to go through.
Son,
but
we didn't even hesitate. This was when everybody was saying that the Jets were going to be getting Kayvon Thibodeau, they were going to get Ekwonu, right?
Or offensive line. Yeah, exactly. Ekwonu,
yeah. And we just said, no, it's going to be Sauce. And the reason why we said it was going to be Sauce is this. Or this was my belief, and then I think Keith's as well.
49ers pick is in. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
It is? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Just flashed on the screen.
You said 49ers.
I'm sorry. Buccaneers.
Oh,
49ers.
Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? You're getting my heart all pop. I'm like,
I know, man. I got
what happened now?
A heavy drink right here. That's why I was like, what am I missing something?
No, my bad.
But we knew, looking at the board, Sauce was one of those blue chip players, one of those guys that could be a superstar for years to come, just like Revis. You and I both saw that because he didn't give up a touchdown the entire time he was in college.
Yeah.
What the hell,
Yeah.
right? He has those measurables that you look for. He's got that size, speed, like we talked about. And I'm like, there's no way Joe Douglas is passing up on that. And you know what great teams do? They have a scheme. There's a talent that may not fit the scheme. Instead of taking the talent and trying to force him into the scheme or bypassing that player to get a player that fits into your scheme, you adjust your scheme to the talent. That's great coaching. That's what Bill Belichick, unfortunately, does so well. And so I was very happy to see us take the best talent on the board. And we got it right, bro. I mean, I don't know what else to say. We did.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you 100%. If you look at this draft and the players in the draft, how many of them in this year's draft, we know Pickett went 20 and no other quarterbacks, right? Which shows you, wow, this is a low-level quarterback. That's no running backs taken in the first round. Right, guys? Hutchinson could be special, but what you heard about Hutchinson and Kayvon and Trayvon Walker is that none of them are a lockdown Bosa level guy. None of those are in the draft this year. That's what you heard the whole time, right? There's only a couple of guys in this draft that you look at and you're like, that dude I know could be a special player in the league. And one of them is Sauce Gardner. Sammy said that when we were talking about this last week. And it's one of the reasons we thought he would be a Jet. And it made the most sense. In my mind, I didn't think Thibodeau would be there at 4. And if there was a decision between the two, I was on the fence between the two. I'm not going to lie to you guys.
They got Simeon Rice up here right now about to make the pick for him.
Okay. All right, Wookie, you keep us filled in on this, Wook. But, Michael, if you think what the Jets have done here, pairing, what they've done is with the first 3 picks, they
Logan Hall, defensive end.
Oh,
who is it?
Logan Hall.
Can I show you guys something real quick? Can I show you guys something real
Houston.
quick? Can you see the homie's notepad? You can't even see it.
Oh, okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
Because I got my new
that's
mock.
good. That's good. They went with Hall. That's excellent.
God damn it. You know, I'm gonna have to fucking figure this out.
My
the mock.
So that means Dean is still on the board, and oh yeah, we had a poll today. Thank you everybody, who participated.
Logan Hall, you see it, right?
Oh, you got Hall?
You see what that says in the updated mock? Mike, we're continuing.
What do you got for the
continuing to hit home runs in the second round? We're in the second round right now.
What do you got for Vikings?
I got him taking Booth Jr. corner.
Yeah, I absolutely because
I got the Titans taking Malik Willis.
Oh, the Vikings just traded the pick to the Packers.
Oh, here we go.
Are they
about to grip Watson?
They're about to grip Watson for sure.
Yeah, they're definitely going to take him.
That means
after, right?
That means Dean is falling. So now who's after Green Bay? Who's after Green Bay?
I'll tell you what, Wookie.
Tennessee and then the Giants right now.
If the Packers take a wide receiver, Wookie.
Picks in by the way for the Packers.
It's going to get to the Giants, and you guys might be able to get Booth Jr. from Clemson.
I would love it.
And I know you want a corner.
I know. Son, Dean might fall straight to us, son. If I'm JD right now, like I'm calling. Listen, I'm calling because Dean is. Look, if we land Dean, okay, guys, do you understand this draft? Like, I can't even handle this draft. Dean is arguably the best linebacker in the draft, right?
If
we're going to get him too.
Wide receiver right now,
crazy.
The defense would be. Listen, Keith, I want Breece Hall. I do.
Yeah.
And I probably, if you put a gun to my head, I would say take Breece because I feel like you look when the Bills were on the clock. Do you know who I didn't want to see go? Breece Hall because I'm scared. I don't want to see him. You know what I'm saying? So like I know Bill fans, the Hill people, they don't want us to take Breece Hall. No, of course they don't. They're like, yo, don't let they're like the Jets are jabronis. I'm sure they're like, oh, there's
I was saying
Breece Hall,
but they don't want Breece Hall.
You were on the when you were loading up the links and letting everyone know about the live pod before. I was talking about Dean because in my mock, like I said, I had Booth going here. There's a trade now, so it throws everything out of whack, right? I had Willis going to the Titans. I thought the Giants might take Gordon, the cornerback from Washington, but they might take Booth now when it gets to them. But I think Breece Hall is going to go to the Texans at 37. I don't think he's going to be there at 38.
I know.
So when it gets to us at 38, I think it's between 3 guys. I think it's between Dean, who you just mentioned, who ran a 4.5 40, and I know he's 5'11", 225 pounds. The guy, like I was saying to them, Michael, he plays every play like it's the end of his life. That's the last play he's going to play. That dude is a guy you fall in love with as a fan. I think our guy Bernard Raymond's an option, Mike, offensive lineman, and I think Walker. I know everyone likes Breece Hall.
Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
When you look at Kenneth Walker, I know he's the second running back behind Breece Hall, and I mean I've seen a list or two that have him ahead of him. But he's 5'10", he's 215, ran a 4.38 like a monster. Now, I mean, our boy Michael Carter's 5'8", he's like 195. You know, when you look at Walker, I know 5'10", 215 doesn't seem that much bigger, but go take a look at his tape and go look at his film.
Well, your boy Aaron Jones
there's also
is making the pick.
There's also Jaquan Brisker, that safety,
Yeah.
right? That we potentially could take, but I wouldn't take the safety.
I wouldn't take him. I don't
To
think
me, to me, it's
Mike,
about
I don't
that.
think the value's there. I don't think the
Yeah.
value's there at 30. We need a safety, but I don't think the value's there at that pick for him.
I agree.
I think the value's there for. I mean, look, he's the 19th ranked prospect on every single board, pretty much 19 to 20.
Right.
N'Kobe Dean. I mean, N'Kobe Dean. That would be nuts if we got.
No,
Hall
it'd be
out there.
nuts.
Watson,
It'd be nuts.
Christian
Listen.
Watson of Green
We
Bay
could.
Christian Watson.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh,
boy.
son,
Now,
the
look,
fantasy value the fantasy. So let's talk fantasy for a second. Christian Watson just in the SCFL draft, he now would probably be. Yeah, that would probably be the number one.
None of these receivers are in a better spot.
Jumped up a little bit.
Yeah, he in the SCFL draft, he's number one receiver right now,
Yeah.
Nick. Because who else? Olave, no. Wilson, no. You could say London. You could, because he's the only one, right? And Pitts. You could say London, okay, but
London could get targets.
Yeah, he
He might be
get a lot of
getting
them.
targets, because they don't have
Yeah.
anyone to throw the ball to.
Could be
Him and
super
Pitts
volume
might
master.
eat targets. And I think next year, honestly,
Christian
Mike,
Watson.
I think if our boy Zach Wilson operates at a level we're expecting him to, 25 touchdowns and over 3,500 yards, throws a moderate amount of interceptions and is a good quarterback, I think Garrett Wilson could be immediately good.
Mhm.
Garrett Wilson, I know last night as we talked, you started watching some stuff, you started coming around a little bit on him. I know you said he's good at a lot of things, he's not great, and maybe that's the reason why someone like that is super valuable. But Mike, he also ran a 4.38.
Yeah,
Like he has the hands, he has every single route.
Look, here's the facts. I believe the facts are the Jets wanted to put value around Zach Wilson, and they said probably that Williams was the better pick, Jameson Williams, but he's not going to be ready until like October. So Zach isn't going to essentially get that value in OTAs, in camp, in training, all that stuff. He's going to have to wait until middle of the season, and they didn't want to do that. And yeah, maybe his upside isn't as good as Jameson Williams, but it's good. And he's probably day one, the best value. Dude, the moment they play OTAs, Wilson's out there is just sucking in targets. You know what I'm saying? So him and I feel like what this does, guys, and whether you guys agree or disagree, we're going to go in with this receiving core. We may grip another, but guys, Corey Davis is probably not going to come back. Okay. And we have not spent a ton. CJ Mosley's his salary is coming off the books most likely next year. We have not blown our load of when it comes to
I like
money.
that. I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So guess what? Next year, if there's a top receiver that we want to be aggressive with, we can do that and add that top receiver to like Elijah Moore and a Wilson if we wish, right? So
and don't forget also, Mike, you're looking at next year, and see the pick is in here. We got Billy White Shoes Johnson out there looking like a legend.
what are we going with the Titans?
He probably has.
Prairie.
All right, he's dancing now.
Prairie, cornerback out of Auburn.
Okay, Michael.
Oh, corner.
They went corner. Okay.
So the Jets have their pick.
Wow.
Jets have their pick. Pretty much. Yo, listen, but to your guys' point before, I just wanted to say.
So the Vikings took McCreary. Am I mistaken here? Is that who just selected at 34? Oh, the Titans. I'm sorry.
Yo,
okay.
I am ready. I am ready for the era of Sauce Island and the Wilson to Wilson combination. Okay.
Oh, Wilson to Wilson is going to be great, and it's big. It's applesauce. It's the big applesauce. That's the new name, the Big Applesauce, right?
Yeah, a lot.
Yo, and what's up with all the bling? Did you guys notice that last night? The bling was for real.
One thing that was disconcerting, or at least, you know what? I'm not 20. I won't even pretend to tell a 20-year-old what's cool to wear or not. And if you're listening to this and you're a young person, understand that. I'm an old man. I don't know what the hell's cool or not. But Garrett Wilson was wearing pearls. Like, not blinged, old-fashioned, just Lauren, like Audrey Hepburn from like 1945 movie.
Oh boy.
You know, I was like, what is going on right here? But you know what? As long as he goes down and catches the ball and gets touchdowns, I don't care.
Jets pick is in, so we're just waiting now.
We're just waiting on the clock here.
Jets
we on the
Yo,
we're on the clock.
Also, can we talk about how Sauce walked in?
No, not the Jets.
Wookie,
the Giants are on the clock.
Wookie, you're on mute.
My bad.
On my screen.
No, that we traded with the Jets. Apparently,
We traded up, bro.
Whoa!
Jets have
What? How
36
come
and
people
the
didn't
Big
say
Ten.
something? We just traded.
I just realized.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I was looking up and I was
We
looking
just
down.
Guys.
traded up.
So
JD,
pick
what
is
did he
in,
do?
huh?
What did he just
Where
do?
is our live
Did we
updates?
get the Kobe Dean? Did we get the
What
best
is going
linebacker
on?
in the draft,
What is
son,
happening?
too? Is the defense being transformed in front of our eyes, fellas? Oh my God! This guy.
Let's
Joe
go!
Douglas, baby. Go get your dude, bro. Let's go, Jets, son. I love it. Now, hopefully, he didn't give up a lot. I probably isn't. He probably gave up a sixth or Mims or something. But we'll find out here in a second.
Yeah,
we got
I'm
38,
hoping it's a
obviously.
look. I'm hoping. Look, Keith. If it's Hall or Dean, I'm gonna go outside. Okay, I don't want to be.
I don't
want to be
you will.
live. You know what I'm saying?
I know. Mike lives in a nice neighborhood, bro. If he goes outside and just going crazy, someone will call the police immediately.
Yeah,
They'll be like, this man, what is happening in our neighborhood? It's nice, quiet, chill, idyllic Texas neighborhood.
Yeah, like they already had issues last night because I was screaming. It was like 11, and I was just like, oh! Jermaine Johnson lost my cool. Oh my goodness, we traded up with the G men.
No, I'm trying to think what
but like if they
what
jumped
we're going to do at 38 now.
Mike, they either traded up to get
Son.
Dean or they traded up to get Brees Hall. One or the other.
Son,
That's what I'm
good
putting out in the
either
universe
one.
right
Listen,
now.
I'm good either one.
Has to be.
I'm good either one. I'm good either one. Now,
But they're not-
if
we
they
were-
went and got Raymond, I'm not gonna be mad either.
No, but they're
because-
not trading up for him. He'd be there. I think he'd be there at 38, bro.
Oh,
Like you don't trade. You don't make a power move like
Right.
this
wow.
unless you're getting Hall or you're getting Dean. Because
Wow.
the fact that Dean's still on the board, I mean, he could be the best player of all those Georgia defenders.
What's going
I'm
on,
not
Nick?
taking
Do you
point.
see any Nick?
So
Do you see anything?
It's commercial right now on ESPN, Mike.
I'm
Oh
at
my
a,
goodness,
yeah.
what the hell?
Just so
is he
everybody
doing?
knows, I want to point this out because I pointed this out to my friends last year. Wookie, you know this. I've been saying this for a
Oh,
long time.
absolutely.
When the Jets have a pick in the NFL draft, there's a commercial.
Yep.
You can
Oh.
bank on the fact that they will cut to a goddamn commercial. No chatter, no talking heads talking about the pick. Those 6 or 7 minutes go right by to commercials. They come
Oh,
back.
they get the fifth. They got the fifth. So we gave them one of our 5th round picks. To move up.
And we got 38.
Yo, but what Joe Douglas has done so far, I'm like, this guy just gets
Oh
it.
my!
All right,
He's
we're back
wheeling
in commercial
and
now,
dealing.
but
Yeah,
nothing-
this guy
nothing's going on
he
yet.
is straight up.
This is
He's
wild.
committing a felony assault on this draft right now.
Like
this dude should be
son,
arrested
I'm
and
telling
locked
you now,
Yep.
guys, we could literally get the best linebacker in the draft right now. I mean, that's
Yeah. And
crazy.
Mike,
or the best running
running
back
back.
in
Yeah.
the
Or
draft.
Or the best running back.
And that's just wild because just think about what
And we
he's doing
arguably
right now,
got
man.
and we arguably already got the best corner. I don't think that's
Oh,
even debatable.
Darrell Reeves coming out to make the pick. for
Oh,
you guys.
Reeves.
Stop it.
What is up?
Revis Island.
Talk
let's
to us,
go.
Nick.
Bro.
Tell us.
He just got to the podium. He's pointing out. Not much going on here. The New York Giants have traded the 36 pick to the New York Jets with the 36 pick. Okay, here we go. Brees Hall.
Yeah,
Oh, let's go!
told
You're
you.
kidding me right now.
Who
Oh,
called it? Who called it? Who called it? Who said it from day
Oh
one?
my
Who's been
goodness.
saying it the whole time? I've been saying it. We've been saying it here on A.E.B.G. We have been saying it from day one. We told you. We told you. You get a guy like Brees Hall, it changes the whole system. The New York, you got to watch out now. You got to watch out now because it's not just Michael Carter. It is Brees Hall. It's the updated offensive line. I've been saying it. We've been saying it. A.E.B.G. is all over it.
Sorry, my dog's barking like crazy, and I almost had a heart palpitation.
Son, Brees Hall, baby.
Yeah, I mean, for some reason, of course,
Let's
the
roll.
Amazon Amazon guy shows up right when we pick Brees Hall. I mean, that's just.
Oh, baby!
Oh my goodness! 2021
baby,
Big
let's
12
go.
Offensive Player of the Year. We've been talking about him on the show for a
Let's
month
go.
at this point, guys. 43 touchdowns the last 2 years, over 3,000 yards. Absolute beast. And you know what the difference is? Kenneth Walker would have been nice. The problem with him, doesn't catch the ball and he can't block, pass protect at all. This dude, the reason Brees Hall we moved up to get him is because he look at his receiving stats in college. Beast. Look at
Yo, son, I can't even believe I gotta like leave for a second emotionally, yo, because this is the cat I wanted. This is what I want. I was like, because in my mind, in my brain, I'm like,
wait a minute.
So we didn't get an elite receiver, right? But if we get the most beast running back, right, with this offensive line, with Carter,
woo!
Wait.
This is
the Giants traded 36 to the Jets for 38 and another pick. Now Atlanta has 38.
Yeah, well, I mean,
so the Giants make another trade.
Yeah,
now, Nick, it's terrible for me, SCFL wise. Like I just lost my dynasty running back.
Yeah,
gone, son.
Gone.
Like that. But do you think I care?
No.
Do you think I care?
Mike, we sat here on this podcast last week when we did our mock draft. And we had Brees Hall getting mocked to get drafted by the New York Jets, right? Another home run for the A.E.B.G. We're doing a good job with this again, guys.
Killing it, bro.
What we thought and what we hoped and what we wished was this guy would be on the squad, because what happens if you have a running back like him on the team? What happens when teams go and play the Browns and they have to deal with Nick Chubb, or you used to play in the prime Ezekiel Elliott with the Cowboys, or you have to play the Titans and you're like, damn, Derrick Henry, bro. And I'm not saying this guy's at that level are going to be when Saquon was balling. When you play that team, you can't just go, oh, yeah, they just have 3 running backs who are in a rotation, and it is what it is. No, you have a guy that's like, damn, they have Brees Hall. That guy's a problem,
son.
Right? He's a problem, bro.
Yeah, so they took a safety, Petrie or Peter,
yeah.
Jalen
Petrie from Baylor, and
then
you
look
at
apparently.
Yo, like I'm telling you right now, like, oh goodness, Zach Wilson doesn't even need to be that good. He really doesn't.
Can I say something to you, Mike? Mike, let me ask you a question. If before this draft, I told you, I'll ask you and Sammy and the Wookiee this. If I told you before the draft, the Jets were going to get Sauce, Garrett Wilson, Jermaine Johnson, and Brees Hall.
Oh my God.
If I told you that, you'd say, Keith, there's a zero. If I mocked that to you, you'd be like, there's no world that could have happened. But it just happened. Joe Douglas just made it happen.
Like, I want to just yell at people. Like, all the people that just talk mad shit to me. Like, I just want to look at cats like, yo, yeah. Well,
you know what,
today.
Mike, and you mentioned on our show, I think that you were in a chat with a bunch of other Jet fans, and who was it, Mike?
Damian Woody, or no, Woody. Damian Woody was just kind of like, no, they're going to get a receiver. He kind of completely shot. Now, Samini recognized
Samini gave you some love and said you put it out there. Our thoughts, me and you, thought they would be taking Brees Hall. Hope they did. Thought that's the direction they should go.
Yes.
Because this is the thing. Christian Watson's off the board. They already took a receiver in the first round.
Right.
There's no player, and this is what Mike's trying to say. There's no player besides maybe they took Dean, because that'd be a difference maker for the defense. But there's no player left in this draft anywhere close to be able to make the difference this guy's going to make to our team.
That's what we've been saying. Exactly. Nobody. Like listen, you have to now respect the New York Jet run game, and the Y zone run scheme is what this offense is built around. We have an updated line that can shift around any defensive line unit out there. And goodness, if Becton is healthy, we've got Michael Carter and Brees Hall. Yo, y'all got problems now because we can control the clock. We have defense where we can erase half the field. We have not 1, but 2 pass rushers at this point to attack any of your quarterbacks, right? Yeah. We have offensive weapons of Garrett Wilson, which was considered by many the best receiver in this class. I didn't feel that, but many others do. We have Elijah Moore, a rising superstar. We have Corey Davis, drafted 2 tight ends. Guys, I don't even know what to say right now. You don't really want to play the Jets right now, and all those moments where we, going through the disrespect that we have, even if Zach Wilson is not that good, guys, he doesn't need to be. Guys, remember Sanchez when he was super scrub Sanchez? We still got to the AFC Championship because we had a defense and we had a running game, guys. Guess what? We got a defense and a running game, and it's young. So if let's say the worst scenario, Zach Wilson isn't it, we can pivot and go pick up another a decent quarterback to play in this system and take us forward, right?
All right, so the Falcons Goodell's about to.
Just to put it in perspective, if you want to think about it realistically too, we just added 7 immediate impactful players this offseason, right? So we signed Tomlinson, okay? We have Whitehead. We signed Reed. We added these 4 guys who are going to immediately play and have an impact for this football team. And don't forget, Carl Lawson didn't play at all last year. So we technically are adding him for the first time too. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. And Sammy, that's a good point, man. I was going to say, if you look at what Douglas did here, he
don't
drafted.
If you
look at, don't forget about them. But he drafts Elijah Moore last year. He drafts Garrett Wilson this year. He signs Carl Lawson last year. He drafts Jermaine Johnson this year. So two wide receivers, 2 DNs. And then we draft Michael Carter last year and draft Breece Hall this year, 2 running backs. So, I mean, this guy is focusing on the positions he thinks are important and just doubling down on them. Getting good players at them, like Sammy said, stacking talent up as we're doing. And it's taken a hot minute, and it felt like in the weeds with the picks that the picks he's acquiring and stuff. Man, we're not winning though. So does it feel different, Jet fans? Of course not, because we want to get wins on the field. That's all that matters. But his approach, like we've been trying to tell people, and we told your dad, Mike, the time me and you had to sit your dad down and explain it to him. Yeah. Because he was like, Keith, these picks, and they're not winning this, that. And we were trying to say, look, I know what you're saying, but look at all the talent they're acquiring. In the free agency, they made good choices. They made a good choice with Lawson, I think. Didn't get to play. They stacked up a bunch of equity with the picks. They kept the salary cap open.
A.E.B.G, defensive end, Penn State, goes to the Falcons.
Okay,
that makes sense. Man, I wonder where we're at this point, guys.
I'm just so proud, Keith. I'm just so proud of us.
Yeah.
I'm just so proud of us because we said it. Like I can't believe, son. Like, no one said this. No one. We said we were taking Gardner before anybody. We said that we were going to get a pass rusher, Jermaine Johnson. We talked about Breece Hall. We were adamant. The A.E.B.G, this is what I'm saying. Like, y'all don't know. Me and Keith are aligned with the Jets, son. Like, we know exactly what we're talking about with this team. We're not football, savants, but there ain't nobody that knows this team better than us. From a fan perspective, I'm sorry. We are too invested. We are too into the weeds with this team. We know what's needed, and that's why we speak. That's why we speak. Breece freaking Hall, man.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
I'm just the last couple years. Last year, Mike. Remember when we actually did a show last year at the top of the second round, also? Because remember we had some top of the second round picks. And we said, I was like, man, you know what? We'd be crazy if we just took Elijah Moore because he's so good. And he should have been drafted in like the middle of the first round. But in my head, previous Jet drafts told me we're not the team that like goes grabs his beast receiver.
I know.
We're going to draft like a D tackle or do something boring. And then Joe Douglas surprised me and just grips him. I'm like, are you serious, Joe Douglas? And the same thing with Breece Hall here. Yeah. Mike, I said to you, I don't think he's making it to 38. The Jets must have known Texans are taking this dude at 36.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another nugget.
Told you, felony assault. Joe Douglas has committed
felony
a crime.
Assault. It was felony assault. No, the Jets. This is the best draft of my whole life. It's not close. It's not close. Even better than Zach Wilson's last year. But I didn't think he could outdo last year's draft. This is.
It is.
This changes the franchise, and I'm not talking as a fan. I'm being real with you. Like, our franchise has changed. It is different.
He's done 2 things, Mike, of really import. Right. The one is he's collapsed the entire Seattle Seahawks franchise with one trade. The second thing is he's reappropriated all of that and rebuilt the Jets franchise simultaneously.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah. Oh,
unreal.
man,
what's Jamal thinking right now? Jamal.
Do you know that pick number 10 in the draft we know is courtesy of Jamal Adams, and Elijah Vera Tucker last year also courtesy of Jamal Adams, and we have Breece Hall now courtesy of Sam Darnold. So
Thanks, Sammy.
so you know what I'm saying, guys? So like what Sammy's just saying, bro, friggin' Joe Douglas has made some savvy trades, and look at what we've done. I mean, Sam Darnold is not gonna be. I mean, I shouldn't say that. This year, I guess maybe they're getting behind him because it looks like it looks like they're not getting a quarterback. So who knows with this season?
I don't think Sam Darnold. I think they're getting Mayfield,
and that might happen. Mike, to me, I don't think he's a long-term answer.
Man.
I don't think he's a long-term answer. I think you saw last year, the beginning of the year started, and he was running for some touchdowns, and the Panthers put him in some good positions, and he played good for 3 games. And me and Mike had to hear people telling us, "Look at Sam Darnold balling. Your boy Zach stinks. Sam." And I was like, you just wait, dude. Because in those games, and I said this to Mike, when the Panthers beat the Jets that first week, he made every single same mistake he made when he was on the Jets. They just happened to, like, guys were dropping interceptions. Things were kind of breaking in his direction. And he ran for a bunch of touchdowns to start the year. So they won a couple games. It kind of gets masked when you're winning. But he turned out to be the same old quarterback, Sam Darnold. And look, now we're reaping the benefits. You know, here.
I can't believe it. I'm just so I thought I was happy yesterday, and like I'm trying to contain myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying right now, but I'm so freaking happy. I'm going to go get a Breece Hall jersey. I am, because we were speaking of this I think we were speaking about this all the way. Like this was one of the original things we started talking about in the second round.
We've been on Breece Hall forever.
We've been on Breece Hall for
like we had chats that we mentioned it on with our friends. Yeah. Friends. Like,
yeah. And everyone dismissed, poo-poos it.
I know. We're like, why are
they can get a running back? They can get a running back. No, guys, there are some running backs that are that good that you just go get them because they're like Jonathan Taylor is just better. Sorry, it's not like a normal. Oh, we can get a guy in the 5th. Elijah Mitchell. Right. Elijah Mitchell is a decent running back in a very good scheme, and it hypes his value. Elijah Mitchell is nothing like Jonathan Taylor. Nothing like Alvin Kamara. Don't even bring that argument to me. What I'm trying to tell, and what Keith is trying to tell you, this guy we just picked up is not like the guys in the back. He is an elite running back. He has the same speed score that Jonathan Taylor has. Okay, size, speed, combo,
everything.
The guy can catch. How many touchdowns, Sammy? Sammy, you said 43. It before. How many
touchdowns? 43 in the last 2 years.
24 consecutive games with a rushing touchdown.
Yeah.
Yo, guys, what did we just do?
Matt Forte and Sebastian
And you know what's so awesome about it,
Keith?
Guess what,
Bears.
Keith? When Michael Carter is time for a contract extension, right? Say we're like, you know what? We're not really going to do that, or we're going to extend him and not extend Taylor.
Kyler Gordon
pick and choose in the future state, and you're not going to burn. And here's the other thing, Keith. We're not going to burn out any of these running backs. We're not going to burn them out. We're going to use both of them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I don't want anyone to think that we don't love. I love Carter. But now Carter's it's the 1-2.
Mike, this helps Carter.
It helps
This just helps him. This is nothing. Unless we're just talking fantasy football and people are talking about that. This helps the Jets running game. Last year we didn't run as we know, we had the least amount of attempts because we were always behind every game. But when we did run the ball, they were 13th in the league yards per carry last year. That's actually if no one would think that with the Jets, right? Everyone would be like, "What? Your running game stunk." Well, it's like no, when we actually ran it, we did all right. Coleman was all right running the ball, and so was Carter. As the year went on, he got even better. This is a different level, though.
Guys, I have friends of mine who are Hill people fans, and they've been obsessed with Breece Hall. They've wanted him. They were really upset they didn't get him. I propose that all the 4 of us go buy Breece Hall jerseys, and let's go ahead and get in a car, drive up to Canada where the Hill people live, and let's just walk around with Breece Hall jersees. I would just walk around, go to the store, talk to people. Hey, how you guys doing today?
Besides the added punch Breece Hall gives you too, a lot of people are forgetting the fact that he can catch the ball out of the backfield, like Keith mentioned. So
Damn, I was just going to say that exactly.
Generally speaking, you have one running back who's like your third down dude who catches out of the backfield. Now they've got 2 guys who can not only run the football, but they both can catch out of the backfield.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's not just
Michael Carter
back sets and have both guys running routes.
Yeah, Sam, you're right. Michael Carter is one thing I need to give him credit for, and maybe they should have thrown the ball to him more last year, but he is like a receiver out of the backfield. He has hands, Michael Carter. He can catch the ball, dude. And to Sammy's point, last year, 36 catches for Breece Hall, 302 yards, 4 touchdowns out of the backfield. He can catch the ball, that guy. And 41 touchdowns. I said 43. It was 41 touchdowns the past 2 seasons, 50 touchdowns total in 3 years at Iowa State. I mean, this is an absolute monster, averaging 5.8 yards a carry. last year. I mean,
I want to ask a question to
game changer.
Keith. I want to ask a question to Keith. What does this do? And again, I'm Jet fans listening. I know I have to ask this question to Keith and then to Nick and Sammy. What does this do from a fantasy perspective for Jet players?
Woo. I mean, look,
Straight up.
It depends. If you're talking about Michael Carter, obviously that's impactful for Michael Carter because a lot of people are like, oh, that's your everyday back, this, that, and the other thing. You don't draft a Breece Hall to not be like your lead guy. So Michael Carter, I think, is kind of demoted to that third down back or the guy who's still going to maybe get 5 to 10 carries a game. But I think as a whole for the offense, what it'll do, you look at the tight ends the Jets have. If we become more of a running team, maybe the wide receivers aren't going to have as many touchdowns down the field, but they're going to have those play action passes. Sammy can talk about this more than I can. I'm not a football coach. But when you can actually run the ball, you can threaten with play action, which they couldn't do last year because they never really tried to run the ball, as we know, guys. And then when it comes to those tight ends, if we're a running team and we get the ball within the 10-yard line, the 5-yard line, you play action into one of those tight ends. We have 2 giant tight ends now. I mean, I think it's only going to help them. The passing game, I mean, it's to be seen how much it helps. But I just know if you have a balanced offense, even though some people would rather just, want 1 million targets to these guys on offense for their wide receivers, at least for fantasy purposes. But a balanced offense usually helps everybody on the whole team, and fantasy-wise is one thing. Just real life, tangible reasons why the Jets will be better. It's just interesting. Maybe in the passing game, too, with his pass protection, Michael, he could be helpful. And I just think him being on the field is such a threat of the run now. You're like, oh, shit, Breece Hall's out there. This guy could bust 190 yards. I mean, you have to respect it. And Michael Carter, I think teams know he's good. I don't think they're worried about him busting out an 80-yard run. He's fast and he's good enough to definitely get yards, and he's much stronger than he looks his size. But he's not someone and he had some good runs last year, don't get me wrong. But he's not a Breece Hall, Michael.
Nick,
highlight reel.
Nick,
Yep.
Miami Dolphins, New York Jets. Who's better today?
New York Jets. That's not.
Do you honestly think that?
I do, because
he doesn't like Tua. He's not a Tua guy.
How great was Miami last year?
Not good.
I mean, the Jets weren't great, but the Jets apparently have a direction they want to go. They just destroyed this draft so far. Everything they've done so far is...
The Dolphin fans will say we have the best wide receiving combo in the NFL.
Yeah, but Waddle hasn't even done anything yet.
Yeah, but you have a quarterback that's been inconsistent at best.
I'm just repeating things that they're.
No, I hear you, Mike.
Oh, of course, and they're going to say what they
if I was a Dolphin fan, I'd obviously be stoked that I have freaking Tyreek Hill and Waddle. But Waddle to me is still kind of like to be determined because I think quarterbacks can limit you. We were talking about this in our chat about fantasy purposes, how wide receivers that are on the Ravens, Mike. In fantasy
all right,
world,
here come the Seahawks at 40.
Wide receiver. Oh, you think they're going to go Malik?
Boy Mafe, linebacker.
Oh, they went Mafe. Son,
Yeah.
are they really going to trot out Geno?
But they got 41. They have back-to-back picks right here.
Oh shit.
Oh, they're taking
unless they trade it.
Let's stop playing games, Seattle. They're taking Willis.
They should.
They're taking Will.
I could also see him picking Ritter, though.
Let's stop. Or Ritter.
I don't know why
Ritter,
that's stuck in my head.
They're going
Mike,
quarterback.
You should check. There's a chat in the YouTube stream. You should take a look at it.
What's it saying?
I have no idea. Shike just asked me if we can see it because obviously I'm not looking at anything.
No. What did he say? I can't.
Nothing.
My phone is.
Oh, all right. Yeah, normally we can see these chats, but I'm too much of an idiot to figure out how to do that stuff. So we're just blasting it out to the universe.
Just blow it out to the universe. I mean, I'm look. Tonight, I feel saucy. I feel saucy. I mean, I think that's the perfect verb for me. Saucy. Because should throw this out, the link out to Creamy and bring him on from Jamaica.
Oh God, stop it.
Tell him. No, he'll be like, oh, the Jets did a good job. I'm like Garrett Wilson.
So we can have that annoying high pitch, whatever the fuck sound
Nick,
it was.
You want to bring him on?
I don't care who comes on.
Yo,
do me a favor. But I know it gets.
We only got 10 more minutes. So if you want to bring Creamies on, you hit him up. But he last time it sounded like he was in an airplane.
I know.
Remember, he for some reason he couldn't grasp the mute button, and we're just like, dude, just hit mute, and then we don't have to hear your wild ass horrific audio.
And Mike. So fantasy wise, I don't know if I take any individual player on the Jets besides Zach Wilson, who I think is going to make a huge jump.
Oh, here we go.
I think
Here
adding
comes the
Brees
second
just
back-to-back
adds another layer to that offense. But dude, like Zach Wilson, I could see him taking
Ken Walker, running back, Seahawks.
Oh,
wow.
yo, you know Pete Carroll runs the shit out of the ball.
Wow. From a
I
fantasy
know
perspective,
Watch the
who do you
Giants
like?
hit
Who
Willis
do you
at
like? You like
43 now.
Walker or you like Brees from a fantasy side? I don't know. Walker could be
I
like
don't think you can go wrong with either, to be
a
honest with you,
lone
Mike.
savage.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you that the way that Pete Carroll they like to run the ball a lot.
I know.
mean, usually running backs. We know historically. Who was your boy, Mike?
Oh,
From back in the day on the Seahawks, legend for 1 year.
Alexander.
No.
You're talking about my boy.
Yeah.
You're talking about Thomas Rawls. Baby.
Yes, Rawls, exactly.
That's my boy.
Exactly. That's your favorite player of all time, right there.
Oh, son,
Mike
legend,
loved Thomas Rawls. He swore that was the next coming of
Swore,
Barry
son.
Sanders.
Swore.
That's
Swore.
so funny.
I held
love
on
that
to him
guy.
for years, son. He just sat the pine.
He never played.
Wow.
I couldn't
okay.
let
He
him
was like a
go.
scrub. And then remember
All
he
right,
came. Didn't he
Seattle.
come to the Jets for like a hot minute?
For a second, I was amped up.
You were
and
like,
he
Keith,
didn't
we're
make
all on the Jets now. I was like, I can't believe this is happening. Yo, Walker is something else, man. Look at this guy's highlights. See, he doesn't look. He's a big dude. I like him too. He's a good running back.
He's beastly. He's beastly.
I would have been fine getting him, but I think for the NFL, this guy's gonna be a beast. But I mean, Brees Hall is just.
And look, that Seattle team offensively, that's pretty savage. They just don't have a
quarterback. But the quarterback, bro.
They don't have a quarterback. If they had a quarterback,
he's gonna get punched in the face in 5 minutes.
Look, this is what I do. I go get now. This isn't going to happen because San Francisco only going to trade him. But I go get either Jimmy G or Mayfield at this point.
Yeah,
that's what I do, right? Yeah. Because
Mike, can I ask you a question?
More draft capital.
Mike, I'm going to throw something at you. You know how the Jets we still were top 10 in cap space, and now we have 3 first-round picks, and we just drafted a guy 38. So we'll probably use 70% of that money on these draft picks, but we'll still have some money left over. So before the season starts, you know how Robert Saleh loves just subbing in different defensive ends and defensive tackles. He loves it. And now we got Lawson coming off the edge. We have Jermaine Johnson. We have Quinnen, Jonathan Franklin Myers. That's 4 good players right there. At least we're projecting Johnson to be a good player. We know what Lawson could do already. Do you think if we get close to the season and he's still not on a squadron, the Jets go ahead and try to talk to a guy like Jadeveon Clowney? I mean, no, maybe not pass rushing. I'm talking about he's run stopping. I know he hasn't lived up to pass rushing #1 pick, but and maybe you know this too, Sammy. As far as run stopping defensive ends go, he's no one's as good as him in the league.
We got money. We got money to play with too now.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Grip up Clowney?
Yeah. Why not?
Why?
I'm just hypothetically. I know this is a few minutes left in the show. Wild hypothesis I'm throwing out there, but he's still out there right now. When you look, and maybe he's waiting, and maybe a contender. He's a great player, so a contender might grab him up. Don't get me wrong, but if you get closer to the season and no one is gripped up yet, I know he's been in the league now.
Traded the pick to the Vikings.
Oh boy.
I think the Vikings might take a wide receiver, guys. Because what's his name's getting old as hell, even though he's still good.
Who you're talking about? Thielen? Oh,
yeah, they don't have it. Obviously,
he's close to
crusty. I can see the kid from Cincinnati going here. Alec, what's his face?
That might not be a bad
Alec
pick.
Pierce?
Yeah, our boy Pierce.
Oh, don't talk about my boy now.
I know.
I'm praying he falls to the 4th.
I know. I don't think he's too
You
beast.
know, in my mind, like I'm like.
I actually had early to draft a replacement to Dalvin Cook. The guy's too good. He's still young.
Yeah, no, they're not
going to running back here.
No, they're not going. They're if they do go.
Yeah,
they
and don't forget Dalvin Cook. His rookie year, he got hurt. Then he played a year.
He doesn't have a lot of miles.
He doesn't have as much miles as you would think because he's still young, Dalvin Cook. So it's fine. I don't think maybe they go running back. They do. They love to run the ball too. The Vikings. So, but I mean, Dalvin Cook is him and Henry and some of the guys Mike mentioned before. There's certain running backs, Kamara, Mike, and when he's totally healthy, McCaffrey. There's certain running backs that are just complete game changer running backs, right? But there's only right now maybe 6 or 7 of them in the NFL. If we're going to be really honest, Ezekiel Elliott, I don't think he's that guy anymore. We'll find out next year. I think Chubb is a beast, but Hunt's there also. They have 2 good running backs. But maybe guys, Jonathan Taylor, Mike mentioned, obviously top of the list there. And then who knows? Brees Hall could.
Sammy, let me ask you, can you give me some advice in the dynasty league that I'm in with Keith and Nick and others? Very, very difficult, competitive. I have 3 rookie quarterbacks from last year. I'm going to trade one of them and get assets. I am. It's going to happen. I guarantee you, because all these quarterbacks are shit, and every quarterback I have is better than all these bums.
Wow. Okay.
So, my question to you, Sammy, is I have Trevor Lawrence, I have Justin Fields, and I have Zach Wilson. Which one should I trade?
Based on situation, I
Straight
would
up.
trade Fields immediately.
Really?
Wow.
Because I think
I can't believe you said that, because I look at Dynasty and he's all the way up with Trevor. He's higher than all he's in the top 10 right now in Dynasty quarterbacks.
I feel like Lawrence, he's getting Etienne back this year. I think he's going to be really big for him, and I just think
Plus,
is that the Fox?
Oh shit, boys!
You
checking in from a urinal.
Yeah,
franchise altering draft this year, my friend.
Oh, Chris,
franchise altering draft,
brother. What do you think, Brees freaking Hall, Chris?
Oh, it's amazing, bro.
Yo,
Henry 2.0.
I know. Me and Fox last night were talking about, man, it's almost like too good to be true that we would even get him. He's not going to make it to 38, blah, blah. And Chris, we were right, Chris. He wasn't making it to 38, bro. He was going to get taken by the Texans. And so we just went up ahead of those guys and just grabbed him up. I can't even believe it, dude.
Yeah, well, the Giants have that 5th round pick that they'll draft nobody with, you know? We have a lot of picks in the late rounds. Let's do it, man.
Easy.
Yeah, no, and you're right, because if the Jets made 10 picks last year, they can't make like 10 picks this year. You don't sign 20 work in 2 years. I mean, you have to use some of those guys just to get the quality, bro, to move up like we did.
Quality, not quality.
Ed Marinaro given the pick.
Who is?
Ed Marinaro, second round pick by the Vikings in 72.
Oh, he sounds
Looks like he could be a stunt double for Pacino. I'm not
sounds
like
a guy that would be running for like town assembly here up in Pleasant Valley. Ed Marinaro.
He's got a blue velvet jacket with a light shirt and a tie to match.
Oh, no, now I see. Actually, you know what? I don't mind
this guy. Look at this.
I don't mind it.
I like it.
But the one thing is, he looks like he did just smoke a joint before he went out there.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I know Fox can't see this guy on TV
right now. That's Tommy Chong Light right there.
Yeah, dude. Does he have a ponytail in the back of his head?
I hope that would be the greatest. Because if he does,
we had a guy come to
a party in the back, dude.
We had a guy come to our house last night, and he was like an inspector dude, and he was like in his 70s, and he was bald, but had like the fading behind his back of his head, long hair, and he had like a little ponytail with like a rubber band. And I was like, stop, bro.
I love it.
I'm like, yo, you are too old to be fucking with this skullet you have. It's frightening.
This guy is going on and on and on. Get to the pick already, bro. Who wrote this?
All right, brother. If you have any respect for your family and anyone around you, and you're in your 70s, you do not have long hair and your hair in your ponytail when you have a bald head.
Right now, he's talking about his childhood and what he lived in.
Oh, this is unbelievable. Like he's going, you thought he.
You know what's the funniest part is, right now. If you're a Viking fan, you're just losing your shit right now.
Oh, you're going nuts. He's in.
Because you're sitting there waiting. There's some clowns. There's some people out there in the world, in the universe, doing a Viking podcast, doing the same shit we're doing right now.
Loving it.
And they're like, "Yo, what the hell, bro? Shut up!
No.
Give me the pick, bro." He don't look like his last name be Marinara, but maybe he's from Sicily. Who knows?
Still hasn't said anything about the pick yet. Just been talking for 3 minutes.
He's talking cash shit about Wisconsin and the cheesehead.
Sammy, we're talking last night. We're gonna make a pilgrimage, and I think it's this year, out to Lambeau to watch the Jets. If you want to roll, son. That's like
they got somebody walking
list.
out to him to tell him to read the pick. This is unbelievable. They had like some chick with the headphones on come out and like, yo, read what's on the card.
Are you really serious?
Yeah,
I'm not doing that yet. I'm 20 seconds behind you. This is the greatest thing that's ever happened.
You're gonna go nuts when you see it.
She's playing him off the stage, dude. She's like, read the damn card.
Rookie, this is one time at the WWE Hall of Fame, Hillbilly Jim got inducted. Oh, and they give you 15 minutes to 10 minutes.
Andrew Booth goes to Minnesota.
She's like, yo, can you do the pick, bro? We gotta go. Oh my God, that's.
Did you see what he just did though? Because he was like, she wants me to read the card, and then he slammed it down. He was like, no. It's like, all right, man.
This guy.
Be happy that you got invited to do this for your team. You're out there 2.5 minutes bullshitting about nobody. Nobody cares. It's not your induction speech. They had to send the lady out to tell him read the card.
The best is that the Vikings called Booth and they were like, "Yo, we're drafting you if this guy ever stops talking."
You guys see I got the Vikings taking right here? Look.
Booth.
So let's go. Let's go, dude. I don't know why we got to be so in tune with this draft, but it just is what it is, guys.
I wonder how many times that red light in the back just blinked and he just ignored it.
But imagine that you're Booth, you're sitting at home watching TV. Like, is this guy ever going to say my name? They called me 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. This is wild, bro. He's sitting there. I know he's like, this dude is going on for like he talked about his whole life. No one gives a shit, dude.
He tweeted
nobody gives a shit
by Minnesota before this motherfucker said he got drafted by Minnesota.
Yeah.
Everybody knew.
That's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
All right, here we go. The Giants. Giants are on the clock. Who's this guy? I can't tell right now.
We'll throw you a bone, Wookie.
The pick is in. He's about to read it. Come on. The 43rd pick.
Mike.
Oh, that's my man Miro, son. I love that show.
Which one?
He's on the show, Jesus and Miro.
Wandale Robinson, wide receiver, Kentucky.
So we went over him, Wandale, and I talked a little bit about him. Wandale, he's a good run. He's a weapon type cat, right? He run and catch cat dude. He didn't have really good measurables at the combine, unfortunately, and that's why his stock dropped. I think he's a good player. I think there were better cats out there like Khalil Shakir and Pierce, and you could even go Pickens or Justin Ross. But
they're thinking upside with him.
Yeah,
I know what you mean, Mike.
Yeah.
There's a guy that I know what you mean, Mike. I think there's maybe some receivers that may be rated higher. The Giants, I think they may be. He's like 5. What is he? 5'9", 5'8"? He's not that big a guy. He's like 5'8", 170 or some shit. He's a small dude, so he's like a home. I think they're thinking home run hitter.
Yeah,
that's what they're thinking for this guy.
Yeah.
Because Tony, not for nothing, he was a bit of a disappointment for the G-men last year.
Yeah,
and it's rookie. It's tough to be.
Drafted Tony again.
And I'm not hating on Tony, but it's tough if your quarterback's not producing. Like Zach Wilson wasn't playing well for the beginning of the season, right? And then Elijah Moore got banged up. So he didn't start off well, but look how Elijah Moore ended the season. He balled. Where Tony never really had that stretch for the Giants. And like they were shopping him. I mean, before the draft, they were trying to trade his ass. So I mean, that's not a good sign for your career if you're getting shopped immediately.
What is a good sign for the Giants too? This guy had 104 catches last year, which is a wild number.
That's a lot for college football, dude. Oh, my draft just shut down, so I'm not even connected to the draft anymore, guys.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, my TV just went off. You know what I'm saying? My internet, apparently my internet's still working so good.
Now. Cleveland's on the clock.
Yeah, we can wrap it up though, Mike, soon. I mean, actually, I guess we can go all the way to the second. We banged out a whole hour here.
Yeah. No, I think we're good, man. I mean, I don't know. I'm good. Whatever we do from now on, I am just gonna sit back, relax, hang out with the kids, hang out with the wife.
Yeah.
I was really happy to be on here with you guys live. I'm gonna take our reaction and make that shit viral.
That's
also
because that was just the greatest.
Mike,
it was the greatest. I was so happy.
I sent Keith the video early. Did you see Salah's phone call to Sauce Gardner? By the way,
it's great.
Oh
my God,
so great. It's so great. No, I love everything.
And Joe Douglas when he traded up to get Jermaine Johnson, that video. I mean,
I mean,
there's like these guys are amped up.
They're amped up, man,
and
we're changing the whole. This is different. This is a different thing. And so, and again, I'm not even if Zach doesn't play out, guys, we're okay. We're gonna be okay. This is a whole different foundation.
Well, this is the thing. Like Mike's saying, if Zach, we're gonna see what the deal is with Zach this year. Say we go through this year and we're like, man, maybe he's not the guy. Maybe he's not cut out for this. And we'll find out, man. He's gonna have to answer a lot of questions this year. Everything around Zach or that position right now is getting built up for success. So the offensive line right now, we know, is probably the best offensive line we've had, Mike, since 2009. On paper right now, our best line since 2009, easily, right? We haven't had a running back tandem like this since that same time, too, probably 2009, 2010. We've had guys that had a good year. We had Chris Ivory have a fun year to watch, right? We've had a guy sprinkle in. We're like, oh, this running back's doing okay. But nothing like what we have now. We have Elijah Moore. We have Garrett Wilson. We have Corey Davis. We haven't had wide receivers like that in a long time. We have Uzma. We have Conklin. We haven't had tight ends like that in a long time. Defensive line, with Lawson comes back healthy, with Jermaine Johnson, with Quinnen. With JFM, we haven't had that in a long time. Secondary, DJ Reed. We just drafted Sauce. We haven't had that in a long time. Whitehead's going to be decapitating people as a safety. I mean, this is something that they're building and they've been building too. And the Jets are going to be on right now, man.
They're going to be a problem. They're going to be a problem,
issues.
son. And y'all want to like, yo, this is a different team, guys.
Right there, guys. I'm sorry. I got so amped.
I'm right there with you, man, because I'm looking at it and it's just there's so many different positions that are so young and now versatile and talented at the line, like Keith was just saying, and from secondary, from the pass rush to the quarterback to the receiving core, even the kicker. We got Zerline in the building, guys.
Zerline, Greg the Leg in the building,
blasting kicks from the 50. This is a whole new ball game. And
I forgot about the leg, bro.
I will tell you this. Hey, Fox, I don't know if you agree with me on this, Chris, but I think the Jets are better than the Patriots right now. I mean, I look at the Jet roster and it's more talented.
Oh, hands down on paper for sure. I mean,
it is.
I think the Dolphins might have us, but I think Tua is a terrible quarterback. He doesn't throw it longer than 6 yards, you know. But yeah. I think with their receivers, that's their offense. I think their offense is going to be good. But I mean, we just got the best receiver in the draft, possibly. The best now.
John Mechie's a third to the Texans,
and possibly the best, pass rusher. So we got 3 of the best and the best, hands down best quarterback. So we
every one of them
all
quality.
These needs with youth and not just like the third guy, the 4th best guy like we typically do. You know, this is a common sense draft. That's what Joe Douglas. Listen, man, it's not hard. You pick guys and do it all the time. We understand that. The McCagneys, the Itzicks, the boring picks of you get, even though Quinn Williams is good, that's kind of like a gimme pick. Where this pick, that Sauce pick, that could have gone anywhere right there. We could have taken Thibodeau. We could have taken, but we have a vision finally. I'm gonna go back to just like the Rangers in hockey. The Rangers built their identity through the draft. You sprinkle in these guys, these guys along the way, like the Mosleys and the Reeds that we got this offseason. Dude, the free agency, the draft, I mean, jet up, baby. I mean, the Bills are going to be a problem, obviously, but like we're talking about chat, we have 2. We have Lawson, and now we got fucking Johnson coming from both sides, and then Williams coming up the middle. And
Frank I know.
He's got to put it all together, and I think the coaching staff with LaFleur, who I really like, he had a rough start last year, but he finished the year strong, and so did Zach. I think that, if on paper things would go right, but I think, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I think if everything goes right, no crazy injuries, Zach takes the next step, we're easily a wild card team, and we could possibly, fight for the fucking division. So I think the Patriots are nothing. I think their time is over. Mac Jones is whatever, but the Bills, obviously, they're the team to beat. And I think with this year's draft, the free agency, the moxie I think that we're going to have just in the building is going to be, it's going to be very, very, very.
Oh, it's going
to be fun to watch.
And guys, last year, one of the reasons we were so bad last year, especially, I mean, we give a lot of grief to the offense, but the defense was just.
It was so jabroni.
Defense. It was the worst. It was the last ranked defense in the NFL, but also for the Jets historically, one of our worst defenses of my entire life in the last 40 years. Yeah. Unbelievably bad. And now we're talking about our boy Breece Hall. We're talking about and Garrett Wilson. But when you look at this defense, if Carl Lawson comes back healthy, I'm going to read you guys the depth chart right here. Carl Lawson, Sheldon Rankins, Quinnen Williams, Jonathan Franklin Myers, Jermaine Johnson, C.J. Mosley, Quincy Williams, Ahmad Sauce Gardner, Ashton Davis, Jordan Whitehead, Bryce Hall, Michael Carter III, Jason Pinnock, DJ Reed, stopping. Guys, that's a fucking defense right there. That's a defense. I mean, we have a defensive coach that knows what he's doing. I mean, last year, I don't think we had the dogs out there to really do a lot of damage, a lot of injuries, a lot of issues there. I know Bryce Hall is good, don't get me wrong, but I mean, having DJ Reed and having Sauce, that's 2 guys that are ahead of him on the depth chart immediate. Just to be DJ Reed's the best corner in the NFL no one knows about. Now Jet fans do. And now we have Sauce too. I mean, damn, this is already.
I read that Hall and Sauce are the starting quarterbacks. Not Hall, I'm sorry, Reed and Sauce are the starting, and then
Yeah.
Hall's going to be, sprinkled in there.
Right.
Yeah, I bet you Michael Carter will be the slot and Hall.
Yeah.
And the thing with Salah, he uses all his corners. He uses all the defensive players because he likes to rotate guys in. But the offense, especially, man, it's all going to be on Zach's shoulders. I mean, every one of you guys have said it. It's all about Zach. If he goes out next year and he stinks, then we're going to have to just rely on running the ball. The first 2 years, and Mike said it, we said it last week, we were talking about why we wanted Breece Hall, is because a good running game just needs the quarterback to hand the ball off.
Yep.
You can't mess that up, right, guys? And Sanchez's first year in the league, he had 12 touchdowns, 20 interceptions, fumbled the ball 10 goddamn times. Quarterback rating was like a 60. We made the AFC Championship game. Second year just as bad. We did the same thing, and he improved slightly, I should say, his second year. I'll give Sanchez credit, like all Jets fans know. In the playoffs, he did play well. So I mean, God bless Mark Sanchez. God bless that game versus the Patriots. I have all the love and respect in the world for you. I'm just saying, in spite of the fact that he wasn't the most efficient quarterback or the best quarterback, because we could run the ball when he was effective. You guys remember this? He was the play action master because the Jets ran the ball so hard with Thomas Jones and Lamont Jordan in the next year with LaDainian Tomlinson and Lamont Jordan. When we play action, he would just hit people. Half the field would be wide open. He'd nail someone. He was good at that. And I think next year we'll be able to do that much more effectively with a guy like Breece Hall in the backfield, Mike. Mike.
I love your Clowney take.
I just threw that out there because I'm thinking that he's not on a squad yet. Once they get through, now this will take a month or so. But a lot of times, guys like him, those vets who are beasts, they don't sign with teams for the summertime. They're not trying to really do camp if they can avoid it, right? So we're gonna sign these draft picks in the next month. We'll get it all figured out, unless something crazy happens. I know some of these guys go into right before we get into training camp and stuff. Don't get me wrong. But say everything goes right in the next 6 weeks, all these guys are going to be signed. We'll know how much money we have, and that's when you can get those luxury cats. That's when you're like, all right, we have all the team. We got our free agents. We drafted. Is there a little bit of luxury out there? Is there like a Clowney out there? Is there a veteran receiver? I'm not thinking of anyone on top of my head. We
kind of did it last year with what's his name? Morgan Moses, right tackle. Remember, we picked him up, and then we ended up needing him.
That's true. I mean, and Morgan Moses played well. And if you look towards the end of the year, man, he actually was one of the anchors of the offense, and we were able to run the ball well. And the end of the year, right when the offensive line kind of like peaked and played good, Zach played good too. And I'm not saying it's his fault at the beginning of the year. He just wasn't doing well. But there was a lot of synergy towards the end of the season. The offense, I'm not saying was great at any point, but it seemed like Carter played better towards the end of the year, right? Elijah Moore, Mike, we know he had 5 touchdowns last season. They were all in the last 5 games of the year. Zach Wilson had no interceptions the last 5 games of the year. That game versus Tampa Bay, I know we lost, but man, go back and watch that game and the way Zach Wilson played. Under pressure versus a really good defense. And that, to me, of all the games, I know we lost the game, and the Tennessee game was great too. But that game was more like improvisational, Zach just slinging it, right? Some of that stuff was a little lucky. That Tampa Bay game showed me a lot with Zach Wilson, man, because that Tampa Bay game, Tampa Bay needed the win. They were coming to decapitate Zach Wilson every single play.
That's right.
And if you watch that game, he made some of his best throws of the season, kept us in the game, played really, really well. He lost to Tom Brady. Tom Brady's the GOAT. There's no foul in that, It is what it is. It was traumatizing. I mean, if 20-year-old me would have been like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, that was like a Dan Marino fake spike and the way they ended.
Guys, I'm going to float this out there. Isn't also Matthew and Collins still free agents too?
Who?
Tyrann Mathieu and Collins.
And the Honey Badger, I just brought it up here, Sammy. So the best free agents left, we still have Jadeveon Clowney out there. Beckham's out there, but he'll get signed somewhere, I think, once they know the knee is okay. And then the third best free agent still remaining is the Honey Badger.
That's what I'm saying. So, Jadeveon Clowney.
Melvin Ingram.
What?
Oh, Melvin Ingram.
Honey Badger and Whitehead just destroying human beings on the football field could be super dangerous. And even Landon Collins, if you need a veteran presence in there.
And also, the free agent guys who's not a bad pass rusher is Justin Houston. I know he gets a lot of sacks out there. I know he's a boom or bust guy, but when he is healthy, Will Fuller's always a really good wide receiver. There's some guys out here at Sheldon Richardson former Jet who thought he was the greatest player on the planet of Earth. Sheldon Richardson, he's still out there, guys. Always good for the defensive line. Yeah, there's some dudes floating around there in free agency we could add. I know Gronkowski's technically on the list, but he's not going nowhere. Melvin Gordon hasn't signed anywhere yet
So
either.
what is this? So what is Robert? What does JD say to you guys about his thoughts on Mekhi Becton? Because he literally went through the first 2 rounds of the draft and didn't address O-line. So does that mean he's all in with them or what?
I stick with what I said earlier. I really think they're just going to move his ass to right tackle, ask him to do a little bit less, and keep Font at left tackle.
Sammy, let me ask you a question. And I don't disagree with you, but say we get to spring training, we get to the, preseason. I'm talking baseball. And Font and Becton to the coach are comparable. Do you think because Becton has never played right tackle? You and I talked about one time how I know people are like, oh, left tackle to throw him to right tackle, completely different position. Font has played right tackle, played a whole season for the Jets at right tackle. So do you think maybe that's one of the reasons they might put him back over there and keep Becton at left tackle if the coach thinks they're at least comparable, even though Font last year was so good and like he was one of the best left tackles in the whole entire NFL? Do you think the fact that he's so versatile is the reason he might get moved if the coach thinks they're comparable when it comes to preseason?
I could see it, but if I'm also the coach, you have to take into effect that Becton hasn't been the healthiest at left tackle. So if you want to keep him healthy, you might want to put him at a less impactful, like a lower impact position, like right tackle. This way he's not put in situations where he's putting a lot of stress on his huge frame because he is
he's just the biggest. He's just the biggest piece of. He's just so big.
Do you think
massive?
Sammy, do you think for him? Do you think he could play? Knowing the position and the difference of the positions. I know it's tackle. People might think tackle's tackle, but it is a difference. The other side, everything's kind of the opposite. Do you think he'd be able to transition over there? You know how athletic he is. You know how big he is. Do you think he'd be able to do it?
I think so, because I think the hardest part about playing tackle is actually your run blocking assignments, not so much your pass blocking, because that's pretty universal. Like Wookie knows as a tight end, like you're learning one of 3 techniques to pass block, and that's pretty much it. So moving him for that regard doesn't really matter, but he's such a good run blocker that I think moving him to right tackle actually makes sense because he is so good at that job. And most tendency wise, and here's a little fun fact coaching for you guys, tendency wise, right-handed people tend to run the ball to the right 65% of the time because that's their dominant hand. So if you put a dude like that, just a
coaching psychology 101.
Yeah. But if you put a guy like Becton who's super good at run blocking at the right tackle, I don't think it'll be a huge learning curve for him. And it really benefits you because Font does a great job at that left tackle spot. So for health purposes and for the fact that I don't think it'd be a hard transition for him, I think it would make sense.
Well, there you go then, dude. I mean, if that's like kind of what I really wanted to hear was just would he be able to do it? And like if it benefits him and his gigantic frame as well, and it lends itself to, like you said, the right tackle, if you have that right-handed quarterback, which 98% of teams do, I mean, that's the guy that's going to be doing a little bit less work than the left tackle. And Font last year, I know he turns 30 next year. It's not like Font's some old guy. And I think Font last year was, as the year, Mike said it all year long. So I got to give Mike mad props because Mike was saying Font was playing great. And as the year went on, I think nationally people were like, wow, look at this guy. I mean, the only guys that had a better PFF rating for most of the season, if you look at the PFF ratings, was Whitworth and what's his name from the Cowboys, Tyron Smith. So, I mean, he was great last year, Font. But the thing is with tackles and offensive linemen, it's not like a position like those other positions where if you're a good wide receiver, your stats are so beast, everyone notices you. It's hard to notice a guy who had a good offensive line year. Unless you're really unless you're like a real fan of the team, they're like watching film or something like that. You know what I mean? So Jet fans know George Font. Say him to anyone else, they're like, who are you talking about? Is he even on your team? Is he your punter? It's like, no, it's our left tackle, bro. Don't disrespect. And he's a beast,
Ah, man, I'm so happy. Well, you want to?
All right, Mike, we can get out of here. We're good, dude. I want to say, Michael, if anyone does want to get at us, I don't know if you have this. I don't know if you have the information in front of you or not. You maybe know it off the top of your head for our social media. If anyone wants to get at us, support us, or be involved in the A.E.B.G world in any way, shape, or form, where could they do that?
Guys, if you're watching now, we're on YouTube. Like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. We're on Facebook at AEBG.JetsRadio, on Twitter at AEBG_NYJ podcast, and on Instagram at Jet.AEBG.
You heard the man. On behalf of the biggest Jet fan in the state of Texas, Michael Garris, on behalf of the greatest tight end in the history of the Marist Red Foxes, the big Wookie, Nicholas Kronk, and on behalf of the #1 high school football coach and wrestling coach of the nation today, my cousin